Hello, everybody. Joe Bagdones here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Last time, Beatrice was being mean to Shannon because she's always mean, and Rosa was being Rosa to Maria. Well, eh. Beatrice is here. That's all that matters. What about me? What have I been doing? Slowly losing my sanity. What did I have for breakfast today? For breakfast, I had like half a can of pineapples and a piece of toast with oh god, what are they called? Lingonberries? You know, the Swedish ones. I think the other name is like cowberries or something. There's a gooseberry. No, gooseberry is something else. I think it's cowberry. Those are good. I like them. They're a little tart, so it's not just like rot your teeth sweet. You know, it's got a little more complex flavor to it. Already had my pot of coffee for the day. And if I made another pot and drank it during this, I would piss my pants and have to take like 3 breaks to go make sure that didn't happen. But anyway, yeah. I was looking at my video analytics and subscribe, you fucks. You know who you are. I checked a video with like 100 views and, you know, it only said 50% of you are subscribed. I'm not going to do this every time. I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, oh, look at my analytics. It shows only 20% of you are subscribed, so please subscribe. No, I'm just saying it this once. You know who you are. Just do it. Anyway, don't really have any much more to say, so you're saved for my 5-minute rambles at the beginning of the videos this time. So let's just get moving along.
またローザおばさんに叱られてるのかな?
Kinda, but she's more being like under protective custody. Ever since they had met Maria in the airport, she'd been constantly trying to make a huge fuss about Halloween. But it seems she had cut loose a little too much, and acted a little too boisterous on the plane, on the boat, and during lunch, because Rosa had warned her several times. Times like that, Auntie Rosa would rarely scold her in front of people. More commonly, she would call Maria into the shadows and scold her where they were alone. Well, that's creepy. So since Maria had been called off somewhere, they thought she must be getting scolded. When they looked at the clock, they realized it was almost 6. I couldn't really imagine that Maria had been being scolded this whole time. Perhaps it had come time for some anime she watched every week to start or something. She had probably just decided to stay in the mansion's parlor.
ひょっとすると、バトラ様がお目覚めになって、一緒に遊ばれているのかもしれませんね。
マリアちゃんにとって、バトラ君は新しい友達のような感じだったろうからね。そのバトラ君と飛行場でハロウィンごっこをするのが、きっととても楽しかったんだよ。
Beginning moves of this game, you know, she's like, I'm just gonna take a nap on the couch.
バトラもずいぶんはしゃいでたな。あいつ、図体はでかくなったってのに、中身は昔から全然変わらない。
Man, you gotta sleep in order to grow. Tires you out.
そうですね。バトラ様は6年前のままでいてくださった気がします。
シャノンは6年前のバトラ君のこと覚えてるんだ。
Because we don't know. Give us the exposition.
何しろ、大層お元気な方でしたから。
僕も6年前に4人で遊んだことを思い出すよ。シャノンはだいぶお姉さん風だったね。
そうだな。今よりしっかりしてた気がするぜ。
What does that mean?
そ
What
れ
does that
は
mean?
あの頃は身の程をわきまえておりませんでしたもので、いろいろと失礼いたしました。
いいよ、そんな礼儀云々は。仕事中はともかく、こうして休み時間に過ごす時の僕らはあの頃から変わらない。
そうだぜ。
So you say that, but
使用人のシャノンとオフの時の作用は使い分けていいだろ。奴隷じゃないんだぜ。使用人の仕事をしてるだけじゃないかよ。私はシャノンとは、サヨとは一番
I'd like
古
to
い
see
友
a
人だと思っ
look
て
at her
るぜ。
contract before I make any assumptions about that.
ありがとうございます。お嬢様。
It seemed that Shannon understood what lurked under Jessica's words. I guess she had heard a little bit from Jessica and Cannon about what had happened between them. Apparently, George had also been informed about that, more or less. George approached the window and looked up at the darkening, rainy sky.
カノン君はまだ幼いのに 考え方が少し背伸びしてるところがあると思うんです。
Yeah, he's a bit of an edgelord right now.
いや、もうよしてくれよ。まあ私も雰囲気に流されてたところはあったと思うしさ。まあシャノンたちのことを見てちょっと羨ましいとか思って気がせいていたと
Well,
こ
at
ろ
least you're
もあ
able
ったか
to
もし
see
れない
that's what happened, but
な。
Shannon's
私のこ
just
となんかどうで
he's
もい
off
い
in
だ
his
ろ。
own little world most of the time.
それよりジョージ兄さんたちの方はどういう感じなんだよ。だいぶいい感じなんだろう。
どうなんでしょう。
What does that mean?
うん。とてもいい感じだよ。
Shannon was lost for words, her face red, while George answered brightly and immediately. That carefree attitude made it obvious that the relationship was proceeding so perfectly it would make anyone envious.
やけるぜ。ってことはシャノンもそのう
Just
ち
don't grow up to be a person who like
子
throws
供期待しちゃってわけなんだ。
rocks at couples in the park, Jessica.
どうなんでしょう。私には
どうなんだろうね。僕にもわからな
Yeah,
い
who
ね。
knows? George laughed like he was being mean and drew closer to Shannon. It's probably the way he usually flirted when they were alone. Jessica could only smile awkwardly and say, yes, yes, thank you, that's enough. Yeah, get a room.
僕には夢がある。それは一国一城の主になりたいというビジネス的な野望だけじゃない。
Okay.
生涯を共にできる伴侶と幸せな家族を築きたいという夢もある。子供は
All right, track
最
on
低でも
George.
2人
Gotcha.
欲しいとか、家族で一緒にできるスポーツをしたいねとか、他にもいろいろ。そんな話をよくシャノンとはするよ。こんなことを話すといつもシャノンには気が早いですねと笑わ
Yeah,
れるん
you
だ
know,
けど、
gotta put a ring on it first, bud.
僕はこの年のうちからもうなぜか落ち着いた老後のことを考えてしまうんだよ。
Same, man.
元気に成長した子供たちと駆け回る孫たちと、そういうものに囲まれていつまでもシャノンと二人ゆっくりと余生を
A
送
dude's
れた
got
ら
it
な。
all planned out. Probably got a pretty good
そうや、確か
401k
に気
going.
の早い話だぜ。でもなんていうのか、ジョージ兄さんらしい話だな。
そんな家族に囲まれたらさぞ素敵でしょうね。私が思い描いていた理想の家族もそんな感じだったと思いま
Yeah,
す。
probably a little deeper for you, though, considering, you didn't really have one. Shannon, who had been raised in a welfare institute, that harmonious image of a family was probably something she yearned after. And George, who promised that he would definitely grant that wish for her, was surely a fitting person for her to spend her life with. Shannon was an important friend to Jessica. George was surely the one most fit to entrust that friend's future to.
まあ水を差すわけじゃねえけど、秀吉おじさんはともかく。
Yeah,
エ
that's
ヴァおばさ
gonna
んとかどうなわけ？
that's gonna stir up some real drama.
説得は大変じゃないの？
I mean, it's always shotgun wedding in Vegas.
そんなことは誰も気にする必要はないよ。僕が誰を伴侶に選ぶかは誰にもはばかられない。
Look at
シャノン
you,
は
big
僕
boy
が
making your own
幸せにする。
decisions.
それに誰の許可が？
ジョージ兄さんかっこいいぜ。よくそんな恥ずかしいセリフを堂々と。昔の兄さんはそういうキャラじゃなかったと思ったんだけどな。
Yeah, dude seems like kind of a pushover.
男子3日会わざれば刮目して待つべし。さあ僕だって成長する。シャノンを幸せにするために僕はもっともっと勉強してふさわしい男に成長するつもりだよ。
Then why don't you go see like, no, the hairstylist or something? Please get that center part fixed. It seems that perhaps George had some kind of awareness of how embarrassing the words coming out of his mouth were. His face turned very slightly red, and he scratched his head.
ジョージさん、
大丈夫。母さんは確かにごねるかもしれないけど僕に任せておけばいい。
Yeah, just ignore her. Pretend she's
親
not
族
there.
全員に君が僕の伴侶だと認めさせてみせる。
けえな。シャノンが羨ましいぜ、まったく。
そこまで言ってもらえて、 恐縮です。
っていうかよ、私はお邪魔虫なんじゃないかって気がしてきたぜ。席を外した方がいいか？
Hey, you guys need some alone time? Smiling awkwardly, Jessica stood up from the bed she had been sitting on, and at that very moment, the phone rang. Before Jessica picked up the receiver, wondering what they wanted, Shannon looked at the clock and was taken aback. It seemed that she had taken too long on her break.
すみません。私、お勤めの時間を忘れておりました。これで失礼します。
At the very same time that Jessica picked up the phone, Shannon began dashing out of the room.
シャノン、またいつもの時間にいつもの場所で。
To the gazebo.
失礼します。
もしもし、ジェシカです。ああ、源氏さん。はい。
Yeah,
シャノ
she
ンは
just
今
left.
そっちに戻ってますよ。
Just missed her.
私たちが引き止めちゃったんです。叱らないでやってください。ええ。はい。
そっか、もうじき夕飯の準備の時間なんだね。
You know, she is on the clock. Many plates were lined up at the counter in the kitchen, and preparations for dinner were proceeding steadily. The number of plates that were lined up there was 19. The number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year.
納得できません。どうして私が直接お届けに上がってはならないのですか？
You know, there might be other guest there. Goto was flaring up at Genji, paying no heed to the pot that was boiling over. The master enjoys having his food alone in his study, so the food must be set out in the study. Of course, there's nothing new, you understand. Goto-san would really like to set a table for the master with his own hands, as he put his heart and soul into his cooking. But the master had imposed a strict rule that none but the servants bearing the crest of the Golden Eagle could enter his study. So while Goto could greet the master from outside the study, not once had he been granted the honor of carrying his cooking into the study. Goto-san was always unsatisfied with this. Of course, he knows he's a newcomer in terms of years of service. However, he had accumulated plenty of experience from his previous jobs, and he was strongly confident that he would be able to conduct himself properly, even in front of Kinzo, in a way that would not insult him. And yet, just because he was not permitted the Golden Eagle, he still hadn't been blessed with this honor.
それが彼のプライドをどれほど傷つけていたか想像できるでしょうか。では今夜も再びそれを蒸し返しているのかというと、そうではありません。
Similar but not quite.
今夜は親方様の他にもお部屋まで食事を運んでもらいたいという方がおられるからです。その人物は非常に稀な賓客らしく、当主である親方様と同格の扱いをするようにきつく厳命されておりました。幸田さんはこの賓客にぜひ自らの手で配膳してポイントを稼ぎたかったに違いありません。虚栄心のお強い方でございますから、親方様に配膳する資格はなくても、せめてそれと同格の来客には昼食はどうしても手が開かず、カノンさんに言ってもらった。だから一年で最高の晩餐である今夜の食事をぜひ自分の手で配膳したかったのです。ですがそれを源氏さんに咎められたのでございます。幸田さんに片翼の足がないからということのようです。再び資格がないと咎められ、合田さんの堪忍袋の尾が切れてしまったのでございます。老いたわしや合田さん、私は物陰からこうして見守るしかないのでございます。
熊沢さん、油を売っている暇があったら食堂の準備をしてきてください。テーブルクロスは大丈夫ですか？
What is this fighting pose?
これは失礼を。
Boing. When it became her turn to bear the brunt, Kumasawa softly disappeared into the hall.
ベアトリーチェ様は親方様と全く同格のお方です。ルールも親方様のそれと同じものを尊ばなくてはならない。
Rules are rules are rules.
ゴーダは自分の仕事に専念し、親族の皆さんのお相手をするよう。
そのようなお客様相手に源氏さんならともかくこんな子供を行かせていいのですか？もし何かの粗相があったら失礼に当たります。
Your son and Shannon.
確かに彼らの年季は長いですが、しかるべきところで修行をしたことがあるわけじゃない。正直に申し上げてお客様に接する基礎ができていないのです。
Oh no, I think Beatrice will be perfectly, get enough entertainment out of her. Yoda spoke bluntly, even though Shannon was waiting right there in the kitchen. Shannon was the one who Genji had ordered to carry the food to Beatrice's room. By the ranking system among the servants permitted the Golden Eagle, Shannon was indeed the second highest ranked. If the highest ranked, Genji, went to set the table in Kinzo's room, then it fell to Shannon to set the table in Beatrice's room. Yoda's pride was always horribly injured when he was confronted with this ranking system. At times like that, he would speak out bluntly and rudely about Shannon and Cannon. Yoda kept raising example after example of Shannon's past failures, making a ruckus about how this was wrong and that was wrong. As Shannon listened to this with her head hung in shame, she heard Cannon's voice from behind her. Cannon had been listening from a blind spot, leaning against the hallway side of the wall near the entrance to the kitchen. He probably knew that if he entered the kitchen, sparks would start to fly his way.
言わせておきなよ。最低の男だ。
でも接待の基礎の勉強になるし、郷田さんはたくさん勉強してるからとても参考に。
姉さんは優しいね。
それより貴賓室のお客様がベアトリーチェ様だというのは本当なの？
Yeah, that's her.
昼食の配膳に行かされた時にあった。間違いなくあいつだったよ。
そう。
Maybe you shouldn't sound so happy
お
about
元
it.
気そうだった？
I mean, she's certainly energetic. Cannon remembered that he and Shannon had different impressions of Beatrice. To Shannon, Beatrice was a cupid of love who had granted her magic to create a relationship with George. Judging by her happy expression, it looked like she couldn't wait to inform Beatrice of how her relationship with George had progressed. However, Cannon already knew. The witch had come here with a terrifying goal in mind. That vague witch, in the past only visible to them, had now walked in openly through the front door, and had revived enough that they could now carry food to her. In the past, when she had disappeared from in front of Cannon, the witch had said something about how her own power was still weak. Now that the witch could appear openly like this, did that mean that she had finally returned to her former power? And she had said clearly that she had sown the seeds of love with the knowledge that it would fail. She had also said clearly that the day had finally come when the door to the Golden Land would be opened.
シャノン、あいつは親方様と何かの怪しげな儀式をし、きっと想像もできない恐ろしいことをする。
Well, at least she can see it.
それには誰も抗えない。
何の話なの？
あいつはやってきたんだ。親方様が求めた黄金鏡の扉を開き、すべてを黄金鏡に戻すため。あいつは僕に確かにそう言った。
Roped into this weird suicide cult thing. In the past, the two of them, as furniture working for Kinzo, had been told what the opening of the door to the Golden Land meant. Therefore, without asking a single question or response, Shannon understood everything. So, she grew deeply hopeless. Something tore at Cannon's heart as he saw her expression twist with grief.
そうだ。どうして今になって。
だから言ったんだ。
No escape!
僕らは家具だって。人間の真似事なんかして恋なんかするから。僕たちの役目の終わるこの日を素直に受け入れられない。
つかこの日が訪れることをかつては願ってた。
Yeah, now it's a little sudden.
でもいつまで経っても訪れなくて、私たちはいつまで家具として苦しめばいいのか。だから私思った安息の日なんて永遠に訪れないんだって。
Not the best way to think of it.
僕だってそう思ってたさ。でも必ずいつか訪れる
You
っ
got
て僕は
complacent,
信
you
じてた。
know? You stopped sleeping with one eye open.
だから僕は家具としての自覚を忘れなかったんだ。なのに姉さんは忘れた。
私が
It's all your fault!
悪いのね。
A little.
私が
Yeah.
ああ、姉さんが悪い。
Well, you sowed it, now it's time to reap.
姉さんさえ恋を覚えなかったら、僕たちはようやく訪れた今日を喜び合うはずだった。姉さんがくだらない未練を作ってしまったんだ。必ず去らなければならない世界なのに。
儀式が今夜始まるの。
あと
Let's see who the six are this
あいつ
time.
は僕に言った。今夜ジョージ様は姉さんに婚約指輪を贈るだろうって。
That was a fact. George should have snuck in an engagement ring in his pocket today. And surely he would hand it over tonight.
あいつは姉さんとジョージ様を第二の番の生贄に使うつもりで二人の仲をくっつけたんだ。わかる？姉さんはあいつにそそのかされた上利用されたんだよ。
そうだった
She's
の。
playing fucking 5D chess and you're playing checkers.
考えたこともなかったわ。
でもあいつは言ったよ。もし今夜その婚約指輪を受け取らなかったなら
Oof.
姉さんを生贄に選ばないと約束した。僕たちが揃って黄金鏡へ行ける
She's
確
gonna
率はとても
fucking
低い
yuck
と
it
思
up
う。
watching that.
13人が生贄になる。生き残るのは5人だけ。その中に僕たち2人が入れる確率は本当に低い。でも姉さんだけでもその約束が得られるなら確率はもっと上がる。僕はかけたいんだ。黄金鏡には救いがある。僕たちはそこへたどり
Oh
着き、
man, I feel like Beatrice is the kind of person to be using some loaded dice for this role.
そして姉さんと2人で人間としての人生を歩みたいんだよ。そうすれば本当の恋だってできるかもしれない。
かつての私たちは黄金鏡へ行けることを夢見てたね。そこへ行けばどんな願いでも叶う。
Sounds a little too good to be true.
私たちをこの苦しみから救ってくれる。そう信じてた。
However, in this ritual, only a few people chosen by fate and chance would be invited to the Golden Land. Everyone else would lose their life as a sacrifice midway through the ceremony. But in the past, Shannon and Cannon had thought, now whether they reached the Golden Land or were made sacrifices would all be the same, because they would be released from their duties as furniture either way. So, in short, the ritual had been something that would definitely grant a release to furniture like them. I bit my
僕は
tongue.
嫌だ。
Ow.
これまでの辛かった分を姉さんと取り戻したい。生贄なんてごめんだ。僕と姉さんは生き残る。
Hell yeah. Rail against fate.
そして2人で
It's not gonna work,
黄
but,
金鏡へ
you
たど
know,
り着く。
they'll spice things up a bit.
だから姉さんを第二の番の生贄になんかさせない。頼むよ姉さん。あの男の指輪を受け取らないで。それを受け取らなければあいつは姉さんを生贄には選ばないと約束してくれた。
それはできないよ。
Well, you
今夜
tried.
の指輪はとても特別なもの。それを受け取らないことは私の心が許さない。
姉さん、儀式の生贄は魔女が気まぐれに決めることになってる。
Can't stop her, bud. Her maiden's heart has already decided.
その魔女が姉さんだけは見逃すと約束してくれたんだよ。姉さんだけは絶対に黄金鏡へ行けるんだ。
私だけ？カノン君は？
Nah, he doesn't care about himself.
僕は魔女のゲームで十分さ。あいつの魔女なんかかいくぐってやる。僕は無力じゃない。 わずかの確率を無理やり掴み取ってやる。
Well, you know, last time it didn't turn out so good for you. I mean, you were real cool for like a couple minutes, but then you died like a chump.
僕たちのせいなんて所詮は仮初めじゃないか。本当の人生を始めるために僕たちは黄金鏡へたどり着こう。そして人間を手に入れよう。そうしたらさ、僕も姉さんみたいに恋が知れるかな。もう
I
家具
mean,
だからって
it's
人を。
right there in front of you, dude.
僕はもう家具は嫌だ。絶対に人間になってやる。こんな苦しみから絶対
There's an
に。
easy way to do it, but I guess you want to do it the hard way. There were tears in Cannon's eyes. It had taken Cannon till now to notice. Shannon hadn't been the only one to know and suffer the taste of love. He had too. The tears Jessica had shown him that day, and her painful smiles on all the days since she had tried to smooth things over and brighten her mood. It slowly wrought some kind of change on Cannon's heart without him knowing it.
Shannon, さっきから呼んでいる。
They've been having a scene out in the hallway. Shannon snapped to reality at the sudden sound of Genji's voice. Apparently, she had been called for repeatedly. She had hurriedly answered. When she turned around, Cannon had disappeared. It seems he didn't feel like showing his tears to anyone.
はい。ぼんやりしていてすみません。
昼食はカノンに頼んだが、本来は私の次の序列のお前が運ぶべきものだ。
Gotta fix that
ベア
this
トリー
time.
チェ様は当家の最高の賓客だ。それ以上の賓客はいない。もう一人の親方様と思い、丁重に頼む。
Yeah, aka don't fuck this up.
よろしいですか。くれぐれも粗相のないようにお願いしますよ。経験の未熟なあなたに託すのは非常に心苦しいですが、当家のルールとあっては仕
Yeah,
方ありま
rules
せ
are
ん。
rules are rules.
くれぐれも頼みますよ。
Goda had officially agreed, but he threatened Shannon with an expression that told her that he definitely wouldn't forgive any mistakes. Shannon, too, thought that Goda should do it if he wanted to that much, but considering it as her responsibility as one who had been granted the Golden Eagle, she had to give up. Besides, I wanted to meet Beatrice. What will I talk about? What will I ask? I don't know. Will I show gratitude? Or else grief? Or else what? I don't know. Shannon loaded the witch's food onto the servant cart and left the kitchen with a slow gait. The person knocking was
お
Kraus.
父さん、今日は年に一度の親族会議です。
Yeah, you gonna show face?
お父さんを一目見ようと兄弟が揃ったのではありませんか。
黙れ。出ぬと言っている。源氏、そこにいるのであろう。なぜ私の指示した通りに食事をここへ運ばせんの
It's
か。
fucking Hikikomori just stomping on the floor, looking for his food. Kinzo screamed through the door. Genji was waiting behind
お
Kraus.
食事は書斎へ運べるよう準備しております。ただ、クラウツ様が今夜
お父さん、毎日とは言いません。せめて今夜だけで
Just
も
once.
家族で
Just
揃
for
っては
tonight.
くれませんか。
誰が家族か。貴様はいつから生き倒れを待つハゲタカたちを家族と呼ぶようになったのか。腐りて湧き出すウジ虫を家族と呼ぶようになったのか。
Well, maybe we did a better job raising them then.
いや、
Kraus shrugged at this answer, which he had half expected.
源氏、言われた通りに食事をここへ運べ。なぜ言うことを聞かぬ。なぜ
源氏さん、後を頼みます。もうあの人に私の声は
I don't think Genji's gonna have any more luck than he needed, but... Kraus gave his head a small shake and quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He'd only called out for his sibling's sake, knowing it was useless. After Genji watched Kraus go down the stairs, he called again through the door.
親方様、お食事を運ぶ準備はできております。南條先生の分はいかがいたしますか。
Kraus gave his head a small shake and quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He'd only called out for his sibling's sake, knowing it was useless. After Genji watched Kraus go down the stairs, he called again through the door.
お親方様、お食事を運ぶ準備はできております。南條先生の分はいかがいたしますか。
Nanjo was also in the study. Because Kinzo had strongly pestered him about resolving their long-lasting chess game, Nanjo had been Kinzo's opponent since before evening. Nanjo had announced as a doctor that Kinzo's days were numbered. In that situation, Kinzo pestered him about finishing a chess game while he was still alive, and Nanjo couldn't refuse. Kinzo was thinking deeply about his move, concentrating more than usual. It had been Kinzo's turn for quite some time, and Nanjo, who was tired of waiting, had started randomly pulling out grimoires that he couldn't understand and skimmed through them.
Kinzo-san.
Yeah, just look at the pretty pictures.
盤面を前に腕を組むだけではいい一手は出ませんぞ。一つ休憩をして頭をリフレッシュしてみるのもいいのではありませんかな。黙れ。守りはこれで十分か。
Is good enough? Really good enough?
ビショップやナイトに隙間を突かれはしないか。
Today, Kinzo was insistent on a strong defense. Normally, Kinzo's motto was that offense was the best defense. However, today was completely the opposite.
私も腹が減りました。ここいらで中断しませんか。それに休みなく頭を回転させておりましたから、もう頭がクラクラです。これ以上は私も最善手をさせるとは限りませんぞ。それは困る。
Time out.
チェスは互いに常に最善手をささねばならん。
You're supposed to, but, obviously that's not what happens.
そうでない一手は理解に苦しみ、思考を読むゲームを狂わせてしまう。それでは今日を著しくそぐというものだ。
Kinzo sighed deeply and finally shifted his gaze away from the board. Ugh, don't know where that one came from. Just needs an opponent. That opponent was tired and suggested to suspend the game, so what else could be done?
確かにチェスの目的は勝利を目指すことで、互いにそのために最善手を指す。そしてそれを読み合う知的ゲームです。
Yeah, so you say.
ですが、
pieces
勝
around.
利以外にもう一つ目的があることを金蔵さんはお忘れではありませんかね。
What do you mean?
なんだと？勝利以外にどんな目的があるというのか。
What, are you gonna say like having fun?
金蔵さんがそんなこともお忘れとは、チェスを通し親友と楽しい時間を過ごす。ですぞ。参ったな。
Nah, Kinzo is like a fucking league player. Like, even though he hates it, has a terrible time, he just wants to win.
それは確か、ずいぶん昔に私がお前に言った言葉だったはず。これは参った。
Kinzo, who normally wore a frown, surprisingly relaxed his face and laughed. Nanjo felt like he had been reunited with a close friend he hadn't seen in a long time.
そういうことです。一本取られたついでにどうです？私と下に降りて食事と行きませんかな。食後にコーヒーと一緒にカスパロフの中盤についての議論でもいかがです？
Chess talk, what a bunch of fucking nerds.
良い提案だが遠慮する。
Yeah, he doesn't want to see those people down there.
私はもうこの部屋から出られない。儀式は始まっているのでな。そうですか。では私はお腹もペコペコですからな。下へ降りることにします。気が向いたらいつでも。南條。
Yeah, he's not gonna leave.
ありがとう。おや、何の礼ですか？
Well, the game's afoot, so best get things that you might want to say out of the way before can't say them anymore.
お前とのチェスの決着はつかなかった。だが、私が忘れていたチェスの目的はどうやら果たせたらしい。
It seems that the real chess was the friends we made along the way.
それはどうも チェックメイトと同じくらい重要なものであったらしい。
らしくもない。何の干渉ですかな。
Well, you know.
お前が言ったのではないか。私には余命がないと。もう行け。そしてもうこの部屋へ来るな。続きは黄金鏡であろう。
Is the chessboard gonna go there too, or are you just gonna remember the placement of the pieces?
いいですが、仕切り直しですぞ。
Oh God, you're gonna start fresh.
ルークが落ちてしまったのは痛手ですのでな。それでは後ほど。
ああ、後ほどな。黄金鏡か煉獄か、あるいは次の世で。
Joe didn't say anything beyond that. And with a practiced hand, he pushed the button on the table that would release the auto lock. Then, after looking at Kinzo's back one last time, he left the study. As he did, Genji's voice came from the
それで
hall.
は親方様、これより夕食をお運びいたします。
最後の晩餐になるやもしれぬ。味わわねばな。準備を頼む。
かしこまりました。
Gonna be slamming some absinthe with your veal?
親方様のご準備の方は万。
I hope not, because that sounds like an awful combination.
この部屋を今日まで問えはたえの結界で厳重に包んだ。あれのルーレットが私を選ぼうとも必ずや弾き返す。
Well, you've really put yourself in this corner, and, you know, it's real fortified, but, you know, you're still put yourself in a box.
そして生き残り、黄金鏡へたどり着くうちの一人は絶対に私となる。私を冥府へ連れ去ろうとする死神どもの来訪をも拒もう
Yeah,
ぞ。
they'll be ringing the doorbell, and you'll just hide behind the couch and pretend you're not home, and then eventually they'll have to leave, right?
失礼します。
Hey, Beatrice.
お食事の準備に参りました。
Shannon entered the VIP room, bowing her head and pushing the serving cart. The young woman by the window, apparently gazing out into the impenetrable darkness outside, was unmistakably that witch.
今度はシャノンか。懐かしいな。ほう、顔色がだいぶ良くなったではないか。カノンとは違うな。見違えたぞ。
ありがとうございます。
Shannon solemnly prepared dinner. There was actually several things that she wanted to ask and talk with the witch about, but those were all jumbled up and she didn't know where to start. Her heart was also jumbled up with various things, and she didn't even understand her own emotions. Therefore, still remaining vague, all she could do was carry out her work indifferently. However, the witch guessed what was in her heart. You can't hide things from a witch.
謝らぬぞ。わらわは魔女だからね。
Yeah, it's to be expected.
何がでしょう。
ほや、カノンから聞かされたであろう。
You know, you wouldn't expect a wolf to apologize for eating one of your sheep, now would you?
そなたの恋路を助けたのはわらわの単なるいたずら心。いかにしてこじれ、ねじれ、破綻するかを鑑賞するためにまいた種に過ぎぬと。
恋はするより聞く方が楽しい方もおられるでしょう。
まさかわらわに感謝しようというのではあるまい。
It's been fun so far, so you know, thanks for that, I guess.
はい。
No, the end hasn't quite come.
あなたが私にどんな下心があって恋の魔法を授けたとしても、あなたが私に与えてくれたものは変わらない。だから添い遂げられないと知りつつまいた種であったとしても、私は恨んだりしません。
I mean, you probably should, but
やはり家具というのは面白みのないそれを面白く調理するのがわらわの腕の見せ所よの。
私にベアトリーチェ様のお考えは分
probably
か
for
り
the
ません。
best. It means you're a normal human being.
あなたは 私たちなど足元にも及ばない大魔女で、その遠大な資料など想像するにも至りません。
I mean, her thoughts seem pretty straightforward. She just wants to fuck with people.
でも一つだけ言えることがある。
Because it's funny.
なんだ。
私に人間を教えてくれてありがとう。あなたが言った。私はもう家具じゃない。
黙れ家具。真の人間ならば
Yeah, you're taking this too
婚
good.
約
It's,
指
you
輪を
know,
受
it's
け取ろうと
not
いう日に
entertaining.
告げられた死の宣告に嘆き狂いて踊り出すだろう。なのにそなたはなんだ。達観し全てを受け入れたような顔つきではないか。実に拍子抜けだぞ。家具。
Where's the drama?
いいえ、私は家具じゃない。
黙れ家具。
黙りません。家
Yeah,
具
because
で
I'm
はあ
not
りませ
furniture.
んから。
Duh.
わらわの命令が聞けぬというか。
Correct.
家具なら命令に従います。でも人間は
I'm a
命
human
令に
being.
従うかどうかを自分で決めます。だから私はあなたの命令に従わない。
Well, like, this is fun in its own way, I guess.
前言を撤回する。やはり面白いぞ。種をまかねばそなたは何の感情も抱かず儀式に身を任せただろう。しかし今のそなたは実に面白く育ち、わらわを心底
That
楽
wouldn't
し
be
ませ
fun
て
without
く
a
れ
little
る
bit of a
ぞ。
challenge, now would it?
それでいい。わらわは退屈を愛さないのだから。
お夕食の準備が
God,
整いま
Beatrice,
し
you're just awful, aren't you? The worst.
た。どうぞ。
うん。なかなかうまそうではないか。ゴーダが黄金鏡へたどり着くことがあれば、
Now,
わ
if
ら
Shannon
わ
was a
の料
real
理
one,
長
she
に
would have
任命
just
してや
straight
っ
up
てもよ
poisoned her
かろう
food.。
カノン君に聞きました。私にジョージさんの婚約を断らせれば私を生贄にしないなんて約束をしたとか。
うん、したぞ。
Yeah.
そなたは
What about it?
第二の番にうってつけの生贄候補だったのだがな。
Yeah, there are others who can fit.
カノンがそれを許せと泣いて叫ぶので寛大に聞き入れてやったのよ。そなたが婚約を破棄すればとの条件付きでな。わらわのなんと
Oh, yes.
寛大
How
なことよ。
magnanimous of you.
なんてバカな条件。
With your infinite mercy and wisdom.
そしてなんてバカな脅迫。そんなものでカノン君をいじめ抜いたというの。
ほう、わかるのか。
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. Apparently, Shannon had seen through it. Apparently, she could imagine how much Kenan had been bullied and humiliated by the witch with that horrible promise as bait.
絨毯に這いつくばらせ、わらわの靴にキスをさせてやった
Yeah,
ぞ。
normally some people have to, like, pay to get that treatment.
それだけで
Kenan
は
got
な
it
い。
for free.
他にどのような恥ずかしめを与えたか。
Shannon silently shook her head.
あなたという人を私はようやく理解しました。あなたは人をいじめ、惑わせ、
Yeah.
困らせて、
Yeah, Beatrice
そ
is
れ
a
を
pretty
楽し
bad
み
person.
糧にしている。だからあなたに抵抗する唯一の方
Yeah,
法
just don't
が
even interact.
これであると確信した。
なんだ。
あなたなんか知らない。
Yeah,
私は私に与えられた運命を全うする。
completely ignore it.
だからあなたを面白がらせたりしない。
But of course,
あ
that's
な
just
た
gonna
か。
it's just gonna make her wanna, you know, mess with
知
you
ら
even
な
more.
い。
The witch's features twisted into hatred for just an instant. It disappeared immediately, but that expression that rose to her face for only a brief time was unusual for the witch, who had never broken her malicious smile.
そういう抗い方もあるか。面白い。
I mean, you can't lose if you're not even gonna play the game.
気に入った。殺してやる。お前の思い人と一緒にな。
それがあなたの決められた運命ならばご随意に。私はそれに怯えたり 逆らったりし
You're
ま
free
せん。
to try, but you know, no guarantee that it's gonna work out in
これ
your
か
favor.
ら起こる苛烈な運命があなたの意志によるものだなんて信じないから。私たち人間は未来に起こりうる運命など知らない。だからこそ最後の瞬間まで自分の信念と運命に従い、
You've heard
精一
these
杯
these
生き抜く。
speeches about destiny and fate so
運
many
命
times
は
before
ただの
we
サイ
get
コロ
it.
のね。そこに悪意なんて感じない。あなたが吹き込もうと信じない。
You know, the universe is neither malicious nor benevolent, it just is.
家具をやめたくせに死を恐れぬとはな。それがわらわを退屈させると思っているようだが、それは大きな誤解だぞ。
Yeah, just wants to make her try even
そな
harder.
たが本当に最後の瞬間までそれを貫けるか。
私は悔しい。
Just painted a target on yourself, but
どうしてあなたは人の姿をして私たちの前に現れ、人の言葉で語り、私たちを嘲笑うのか。
because it's fun.
私たちの前に現れず、運命を予告しなかったなら、私たちは最後の一瞬まで精一杯生きられるのに。
それが魔女というものよ。貴様らの運命を食い物に、工事の存在として定時の存在の上に君臨する。そなたらの運命など、所詮はかけら。両手で碗を作ればいくらでも救える。わらわに飼われた肉牛どもが何をほざこうとも、わらわの食卓を楽しませる結果に変わりはせぬのに同じこと。
You raise cattle?
無力な私たちには、
Cowgirl Beatrice?
あなたの儀式にも運命にも抗うことなどできない。しかしあなたに今すぐ不愉快な思いをさせることはできる。
ほう、それは何か。
今すぐここを立ち去ることです。
Just gonna leave.
あなたの言葉に答えることは全てあなたを楽しませている。あなたの問いかけに答えないことがあなたへ唯一できる抵抗です。
なるほどなるほど。一矢報いることはできよう。しかしわらわを倒すことはできぬぞ。
Worth a shot.
わらわは誰しもを永遠に殺す力を持っている。永遠に繰り返し殺される輪廻の中で、そなたがいつまでその抵抗をできるのか忘れるなよ。
Yeah.
自らが口にした言葉。
No one to blame but yourself. We know.
それでは失礼いたします。ご用がありましたらお呼びください。
Shannon gave a reserved bow as she would to a stranger and faced away. With that gesture, maybe she really had taken a shot back at the witch, just as Beatrice had mentioned. Because when the witch called out again, she sounded a little more quick-tempered than she had before.
カノンはわらわに感謝したぞ。そなたは感謝せぬのか。
Nah,
安息の
don't
日
think I
を
will.
わらわが与えることを。
家具なら安息の日を喜びましょう。ですが私は人間ですので、だからあなたに感謝することはありません。ご用はそれだ
Totally
けです
natural
か？
for people.
ジョージから指輪をもらうつもりであろう。受け取れば。わらわがカノンと交わしたそなたを生贄に選ばないという約束を破棄すること。
It is what it is.
まだご用があるなら他のものを来させますので、それでは失礼いたします。
A flat-out interruption. Shannon gave no more answers. And the sound of the door closing came instead of an answer. It seemed that Shannon's resistance had probably struck far more deeply into the witch than Shannon herself had thought. Because an expression of hatred had once again risen to Beatrice's face. She had made Cannon submit, even though he hadn't been taken in until the end. Yet after that, now it was Shannon who refused to submit, when until now she had been easily taken in.
やはりこれは面白いことではないか。わらわもまだまだ若いか。
What does that mean?
これだから 1000年は生き飽
Okay,
きぬ
still new things to experience. Gotcha. The most fabulous time in the family conference. That was the dinner. Back when Kinzo had been serious about the family conference, he had placed extreme importance upon this dinner, for which everyone would gather just once a year. Should the dinner not meet standards, he would take it as the deepest shame for himself as the host, and he had strongly ordered Natsuki to make absolutely sure that it was one to be proud of. Because of that, she and Cross had employed Goda, who had confidence in his cooking abilities. As a result, they could unveil a wonderful dinner that they had confidence in. Yet, by that time, Kinzo had started closing himself up in the study and no longer appeared for dinner. Maybe you could call that ironic. When the main dish for tonight, calf steak, was set out, Goda began to brag about it, further exciting everyone's appetites.
こちらソースはボルドレーズとなっております。
Cool. I don't know what that is.
ベース
Explain it
の
to me.
赤ワインはもちろんボルドー産の中でも素晴らしいものを使用しておりますが、その他にも当家オリジナルブレンドとしまして世界各地数種類の名酒をブレンドしましてより深い味わいとなりますよう整えてございます。このソースは本年限りのものでございます。どうかお楽しみいただければ幸いです。
素晴らしいじゃないか。
Got any Worcestershire sauce?
しかしボルドレーズソースはフランス料理の王道ではないのかね。それに、フランス以外の酒を使うのは少し邪道ではないかという気もするね。
旦那様。
Hey man, don't lift your nose up at stuff like California wine.
本日は年に一度の親族会議でございます。
Pretty sure a couple years ago, like California, I think it was both red and white wine, just like absolutely fucking stomped. The French varieties at like a tasting.
普段は遠方にお住まいの皆様がはるばるお越しになり、一堂に集われた夜の晩餐には世界各地より普段は出会うことのない名酒を取り寄せブレンドしたソースが何よりもふさわしいかと存じ、特別にご用意させていただいたのでございます。
素晴らしい。本
I
当
really
に
want
素
to
晴ら
spice
しい
it up,
料理人や。
get some of that
あん
like
たは
prison toilet wine going,
能楽が変わると
fermented in
料
a
理も
plastic
薬
bag
も
in like the
効果は
tank of the
2倍に
toilet.
なるっちゅうわけやな。
That
元
would
の
really
料
add
理の
some
うまさも
spice to the
2倍。
dinner.
さらに能楽で2倍。味の倍々ゲームや。
いやね兄さん、その質問読まれてたんじゃないの？
違いねえな。まんまと美味しいところをゴーダさんに持ってかれちまったぜ。
そうかね。今日の料理をフランス風だと気づいていない者もいるんじゃないかと思ってね。
I wouldn't have, food is food, my guy.
エヴァは先ほどバターを使わないのが美徳と言ったが、それはスペイン風だ。
The last time I had some escargot, it was up in Vermont at this like German restaurant. I had some schnitzel, and I also had some escargot to go with it. But it was like escargot with scallops and like a cheesy, like melted cheese. Oh my god, it was so fucking good. I love snails. I love seafood, mollusks. I love mollusks.
確かに国境を接してはいるがね。
そういう意味で言ったんじゃないわよ。話の一部分だけ抜き出して勝手に加工しないでくれるかしら。
とっても美味しいソースね。
Might be a bit of a complex flavor. I'm not sure Maria will be
ゴー
very
ラさん
into
は
it.
本当に素晴らしいわ。
You got any like French fries?
お褒めに
Ketchup?
預かり大変光栄です。
Can you make some dinosaur chicken nuggets?
これもすべて奥様の日頃のご指導のおかげでございます。
いえ、すべてゴーダのアイディアです。私はレシピを聞き、承認しただけです。
Now soak in all the praise, big guy. Looked like the siblings quickly got into a loud argument about something as trivial as the sauce, but for the most part, they proceeded peacefully. However, The thing that they had really wanted to ask about smoldered inside each of their hearts. And that was the visitor, the 19th person, the Golden Witch. In actuality, Ava, Rudolph, and Kyrie were on alert during dinner. If the mysterious guest was to be introduced, this dinner table was the most appropriate place to do it. However, no plates had been prepared at the table for the witch. The family conference would begin in earnest after the meal, and previous experiences told them that it would last until deep into the night. But they couldn't understand what meaning there could be in keeping this person, who should be introduced, hidden until late at night. Well, that's what the letters are for. I was going to say letters and envelope at the same time, and it just kind of all mushed together. So Ava, Rudolph, and Kyrie had started to suspect something. That the guest might actually be unknown to Kraus as well. If she wasn't a saboteur called by Kraus to give him an advantage in the inheritance problem, they should probably speak frankly to Kraus beforehand and create a common front to resist anything disadvantageous to the four siblings. If she was Kinzo's saboteur, whose purpose was to keep the inheritance from being handed over to the four siblings, the enmity between Kraus and the other siblings could become nothing more than a weak point that benefited that enemy.
それではごゆっくりお楽しみください。
With the table set and the cuisine explained, Goda tried to leave the room, but Kyrie called him to a stop with a small voice.
はい、キリエ様、何か。
ごめんなさい。今日はお客様がいらっしゃってると思ったんだけど、晩餐にはお見えにならないのかしら。
She thought she said it nonchalantly, but unfortunately, it reached the ears of Natsuhi, who was sitting in the next seat. Seeing that Natsuhi had heard it to mean, even though there are guests here today, won't the host be coming to dinner? In other words, that Kyrie had asked whether Kinzo was going to come to dinner.
当主様は体調が優れられませんので、お部屋で食事をとると仰せです。主人が初めにそう説明いたしましたが、何か。
Yeah, no, it's someone else.
ごめんなさい。そうじゃないの。
In an instant, Kyrie realized from Natsuhi's reaction that this unknown visitor was also unknown to Kraus and his wife. And what that meant. On the chessboard placed inside Kyrie's mind, she could feel the arrangement of the pieces changing, making loud clattering sounds.
客?
It seemed that Battler, who was sitting next to Natsuhi, had heard Kyrie's words without misunderstanding them. And he let out a wild voice, questioning who else could have been invited to today's family conference. Thanks to that voice, the uncomfortable feeling in the siblings' chest suddenly exploded. Everyone looked at Goda at the same time. Judging by their appearance, it was obvious that at least no one here had invited that mysterious woman. For an instant, Goda was startled to find everyone's gaze gathered on him, but because of his naturally vain personality, this actually gave him a feeling of superiority. Therefore, he answered in an extremely calm and graceful manner.
はい。貴賓室でお一人で食事を取られたいとのことで、そちらへお運びしております。
Therefore, Goda's extremely graceful and reasonable response made it obvious to everyone that a 19th person, a visitor, existed.
貴賓室？客？何の？誰の話ですか？
You know, just the witch showed up. Natsuhi's words echoed the question that everyone who didn't know about the visit of the Golden Witch was thinking. Goda was slightly disoriented, as though he hadn't remotely expected to be questioned by Natsuhi. That honored guest had been spoken of so stringently. He hadn't imagined that Kraus and his wife might not have known.
そのベアトリーチェ様でございます。
ベアトリーチェ、ほらほら、ベアトリーチェ来てるでしょ。
Maria had been telling the other cousins over and over again that she had met Beatrice today. Cousins had answered, saying, "Oh, isn't that nice?" But they hadn't believed. So, their eyes grew wide.
すまね
え。Yeah, roll that back one more time.
俺はてっきりマリアの冗談だと思ってたぜ。あ、本当にいたんだな。
Yep, 19th person really exists.
ベアトリーチェって、あの黄金のベアトリーチェなのかよ。
One and the same, apparently.
ごめんね、マリアちゃん。そういうつもりじゃないんだよ。
After learning that everyone had doubted Beatrice's existence, Maria, who had been in a good mood all day, completely lost her temper. George, who was sitting next to her, tried frantically to calm her.
ゴーダ、それもディナーの何かの余興なのかね。なかなかの味な演出だ。
Not quite.
兄貴、三文芝居はやめようぜ。兄貴が呼んだんだろ。
It's like, what? No.
呼ぶ？誰よ？どこから？
兄さん、はっきりさせましょう。あれは誰？まさか本当に肖像画のベアトリーチェだと言うんじゃないでしょうね。
私にはお前たちが何を言っているのかさっぱりだ。ゴーダ、これは本当に冗談ではないのだな。
私は源氏さんからそのように指示を受けただけでして。
Under the bus, Genji, you go. Woo!
源氏を呼びなさい。今すぐ。
Perfect deflection. When Natsuki yelled, Goda shot out into the hallway. The sound of the door being thrown open at that time triggered a sudden uproar around the dinner table.
じゃあ兄貴も知らないってんだな。呼んだのは誰だ？親父ってことか？
私には何のことかわからんね。お前たちは私が裏で糸を引いていると信じているようだが、それは大きな誤解だ。
Kraus isn't some big mastermind. I mean, he's got some schemes, but...
クラス兄さん、落ち着いてえな。わしらはもう腹の探り合いをすべき段階にないで。もし兄さんも知らない怪人物だっちゅうんなら、これはとんでもない話になるんやで。
秀吉さん、言葉を少し慎みませんか
？No, it's good to be frank.
主人は親族会議に不要な人間を招いたりはしません。
まったくだ。お前たちは何を言っているのかね。肖像画の魔女が額縁を抜け出して現れたとでも言うのかね。
Not quite, but close.
実際にその魔女様に会ったという人間がいるわけでもなかろう。
That's gonna fucking spike Maria's blood pressure.
あったわ。
Even Rudolph nodded at Rose's proclamation. Yeah, you even got souvenirs.
マリアもあった。クラウスおじさん信じて。ママを信じて。
Well, good time to drop these letters. Brief tension was broken, and Maria also started to make a ruckus. The room was by now chaotic.
何が何だかさっぱりだぜ。つまりなんだ
？Alright, when you guys sort this out, can I like eat?
じい様に黄金を授けた魔女様が今年の親族会議にはスペシャルゲストとして登場ってわけかよ。
しかし本当にローザおばさんの見間違いってことじゃねえの？
マリアもあった。
That was an interesting point to put in the boing sound effect.
ローザおばさん、間違いなくなんですか？
Seems pretty sure so far.
ええ。
As far as we can tell.
私とマリアは会って話もしてる。私は会ったの。あれは間違いなく魔女だった。信じて。私の見間違いとか錯覚とかそんなのじゃ断じてない。
Yeah, definitely weren't high. You're a little too straight-laced, you know, a little too much for your own good. In the instant before the typhoon visited, Rosa had definitely met with the witch in the rose garden. But that scene had been so hard to accept as reality. And the more she spoke of it like this, the less she understood what it was she had met. Ironically, because she had lost her composure when she had said that she had definitely met the witch, the more desperate she became, the more vague the witch's existence seemed. So, it was a single composed sentence that affirmed her existence for certain.
私もあったわ。挨拶とはとても言えないけれど、一応言葉も交わしてる。ローザさんの見間違いとかじゃ断じてないわ。
キリエさん、それマジかよ。
ええ。でも彼女は私に名乗らなかった。だから彼女がベアトリーチェであると断定はできない。
Yeah, but she implied.
でも主観的で恐縮なんだけど、 私は玄関ホールで彼女に会ったから、肖像画と顔を見比べることができた。
Spitting image?
私は第一印象で、彼女こそがこの肖像画の主に違いないって思ったわ。あくまでも主観よ。
そんなことはありえません。第一、その女はどこからやってきたというのですか？
Probably a boat.
今日の船は皆さんの送迎のための便が往復しただけです。
Unless she was here the whole time.
その船に乗っていたのですか？
それを言われると弱いな。確かにそんなご婦人と一緒に下船した記憶はない。
あら、そう？私たちの乗ってきた船以外に船はないってどうして証明できるの？
really
できないわ。来なかったは証明できない。
道理だな。来たは証明できる。
Yep, could have been a private charter.
来たのを見たやつが見たと言えばいい。しかし、来ないは証明できないぜ。
Oh god, let's not get lost in this rabbit hole.
全員が来ない、見てないと言ったところで、全員が見てないところでこっそり来たことを否定はできない。つまり、悪魔の証明ってやつだ。
Uh-huh. It's easy to prove that a devil exists. All you have to do is meet a devil. It was impossible to prove that devils don't exist. Just because no one has ever met a devil doesn't mean that you can deny the possibility that they're hiding away somewhere that humans cannot go. You can't deny the existence of aliens for exactly the same reason. Until humanity searches the whole of space and can show perfectly that aliens don't exist, you can't be sure that they don't. And it's definitely impossible for us to ever check the entirety of space for the existence of aliens. Therefore, while there may be a number of ways to prove that aliens do exist, it's impossible to show proof that denies their existence.
となれば、僕たちが乗ってきた船以外の船で来たかどうかなんて、議論しても無駄な問題ということになるね。
You just have to accept what you know for certain.
僕たちと一緒の船にはいなかった。それだけが事実で、それ以外の方法で、とにかくこの島に訪れたことになる。
She teleported.
そうね。どうやって来たかなんて、議論の必要はないかもしれない。肝心なのは、現にこの屋敷に今いて、私たちと晩餐を共にする気がないという事実よ。
She just like completely phase shifted.
整理しよう。今この島には、後ろ宮家18人以外に、もう一人客がいる。
The number now equals 19.
そしてそいつは、兄貴も夏日姉さんも知らない客だってんだな。
知りません。何の話だかもわかりません。
Yeah, we've already established that.
お前は少し黙っていなさい。頭痛に触る。妻の言う通りだ。私にはお前たちが何の話をしているのかさっきからさっぱりだ。
Because Natsuhi seems like a wine mom.
じゃあ答えは一つしかないわ。お父様が呼んだのよ。今日の親族会議のために。
親族会議に
Good assumption.
だから何のために
Despite you guys, he fucking hates you.
そんなの知らないわよ。兄さんが知ってたらそれを問い詰めようって思ってたのよ。
エヴァ、予算か。
No point ripping yourselves apart.
クラス兄さんは知らんと言うと。
Beatrice is gonna do that plenty for you.
つまり話はこうや。お父さんが肖像画の魔女にそっくりの客人をこっそり招いた。それにローザさんが出会い、マリアちゃんが出会い、そしてキリエさんもあった。
That's three people that got eyes on her.
今はそこまでや。わしらに言いたいことがあるんなら、とっとと姿を現せばええ。
Yeah, that like removes the mystique in the drama.
挨拶もなしに引きこもってるっちゅうのはどないなわけなんや。ってことなんや。
親族会議なんか花から関心のない親父が新しい愛人をこっそり呼びつけたってわけか。
Well, that's just your way of thinking about it.
理想の魔女様のおべべを着せてよ。
Do a little magic roleplay.
そう決着するには、今日という日は意味を持ちすぎてるぜ。
理由は一つしかない。親族会議に加わるためよ。お父様の遺産について何かの権利を主張する気でいるのよ。バカバカしい。
Yes, but more.
当主様に愛人などと汚らわしいものなどおりません。
お前は黙っていろと言っている。私はこの屋敷でずっと親父殿と過ごしているが、そんな話は聞いたこともない。最大限理解を示したとして、 何十年も昔の愛人との間に隠し子がいたとして、
And now that
それを親父殿が探し出
child's
し
come to collect.
今日という日に呼びつけたと、こう言いたいのかね。
Yeah.
あなた
That's a very logical explanation.
お父様にそんなものがいるわけ
Logic
があり
doesn't
ませ
seem to
ん
be playing much of a role on this island right now.
尊い後宮の血が愛人ごときに。先ほどから数人が見た見たと自称しているに過ぎません。幻想妄想白チュームに決まっています。あるいはこれも夫を陥れるための皆さんの何らかの芝居なのですか？
何の芝居だってのよ。芝居だって言うならそっちでしょうが。
Alright, play the letters now. Come on.
よせよ姉貴、ちょいと暴力的な言い方だが、夏日さんの言う通りではある。キリエは姿を見たが俺は見てない。姉貴もだ。だがローザは見た。しかしってことは、いるってことになる。
Tentatively.
いるを証明している連中が存在する以上、いるで直ちに決着だ。
Yes.
悪魔の証明の逆パターンってわけだな。それに俺も会いたいんだよ。
I mean, you can just go knock on her door.
そして一体当家に何の御用かと直接問いただしたい。
それについては私も同感だ。
Y'all gonna go at once and like gang up on
六
her?
軒島へ何の御用かぜひお尋ねしたいものだ。
白々しいこと言わないで。狙いは一つよ。お父様の遺産を狙ってるのよ。相続問題に明るい弁護士に今後の作戦を練らせるべきよ。お母様と同格の権利を愛人が主張した場合、私たちの取り分はかっきり半分さらわれることになる。
Yep.
ちょっとみんな待って。
Uh-huh.
源氏さんがもうじき来るわ。
Just gotta wait for
彼は何
Genji.
でも知ってる。きっと私たちの疑問に答
I
えて
mean,
くれ
once
る
he
わ。
knows everything, but he knows a lot.
それまでそういう話はなしにしましょう。さあ子供たち。
Yep, let's eat.
悪いけれど大人はちょっと込み入った話をしないといけないの。ゲストハウスへ戻っていなさい。
Rosa yelled at the children, slightly emotionally. The children didn't understand why they were suddenly being yelled at now, but even the rest came to the same realization as Rosa after a delay. They were talking so grandly about the filthy topic of the inheritance in front of the children. There's no way that they wanted their children to remain here. So they all immediately agreed with Rosa's plan.
そうやな。ローザさんの言う通りや。
Can we get some, like, to-go bags?
ジョージ、いとこみんなでゲストハウスに戻ってるんや。いとこ同士仲良く遊ぶんやで。
ジョージ、言われた通りになさい。いとこみんなを連れて今すぐ出ていくのよ。
ちょっと待ってよ母さん。僕たちはまだ食事も終えてい
Yeah,
ない。
Fuck, let me finish the steak. Wait, you want me to just, like, pick it up and put it in my pocket?
デザートはゴーダさんにゲストハウスに運ばせます。だから出て行きなさい。
Yeah, scram.
ジェシカ、ここから先は大人の話し合いです。行きなさい。
わかったよ。まだ食いかけだってのに。
Just shove it all in your mouth at once and eat it while you're walking.
俺だけ例外ってことはないよな。
理解してくれてありがとう、バトラ君。でもあなたラッキーよ。
Yeah, you get to avoid this fucking disaster.
どうして？
For the time being, anyway.
私も出ていけるなら出ていきたいの。
違いねえぜ。
Yeah, that's about to get messy.
大人は大人で遺産をめぐって楽しい一家団らんをお楽しみくださいってんだ。
私も席を外しましょう。
Yeah, this is a family talk. I should step out.
どうやら今夜は私の出番はなさそうだ。
Nanjo softly rose from his seat. He had been calmly watching the whole discussion from his seat at the farthest corner of the table, without pointlessly interrupting. His reaction was very adult, like a calm old gentleman. I mean, that kind of is what he is. When Nanjo rose from his seat, it urged on the other people who were supposed to leave. As the children noisily rose from their seats, a commotion was heard in the hallway as the servants returned.
遅くなって申し訳ございません。源氏をお呼びいたしました。
お屋敷の中の戸締まりの確認に行っておりましたもので遅くなりました。申し訳ございません。
さあ子供たちはゲストハウスへ。
Get shoot.
ゴーダさん、申し訳ないのだけれど
子供たちの分のデザートゲストハウスへ運んでくれるかしら。
は、よろしいのですか?
I mean, they still need to eat. It seemed like Goda did not appreciate that the dinner he had worked so hard on was going to be interrupted like this. He sent Natsuki a look as though asking her whether it was really alright.
ローザさんの言う通りにするように。それから私たちにデザートの配膳は不要です。呼び出しがあるまで食堂には近づかないように。これは他の使用人にも伝えること。いいですね。
はい。かしこまりました。
Poor Goda.
さあさあ皆さん。
Beatrice ruined his fucking dinner.
参りましょうか。マリアさんもこれ以上お母さんを困らせてはいけません。
マリアもベアとの話する。
マリアちゃん、
It's that reaction why you can't stay here right now.
僕たちにゲストハウスでベアトリーチェの話を聞かせてくれないかい?
Extol her virtues to us.
ぜひ魔女の話を聞きたいんだね。
Ah, kids are so easy.
ジョージ兄さんは本当にうめえぜ。感動するぜ。
本当に子持ちじゃねえのかよ。
I mean, you just gotta emotionally manipulate them.
手慣れすぎだぜ。
It's not that hard. But do it in a good way. Maria's mood was completely back to normal in George's words, and she even took the initiative in hurrying everyone to go to the guest house. Looked like Goda didn't like being kicked out himself, but he was unable to disobey Natsuki and left the room with Battler and the rest, closing the door. Yeah, who the fuck is Beatrice?
あるわ。たっぷりと。それもみんな。誰から質問するかくじ引きが欲しいくらいよ。
だが誰が一番のくじを引こうとも最初にする質問は同じだと思う。
違いねえ。現実に正直に答えてくれ。今貴賓室にいるベアトリーチェってのは何者なんだ?
I mean, her name explains it all. Beatrice is Beatrice. I don't know what's so hard to get about it. It's not that complicated, bud. And with that is where we're going to end it here for today. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko, where we will hear all about Beatrice. Maybe. I don't know. Man. Maybe we'll get around to those letters. I hope so. I hope they just don't forget about them. It seems important. Also, still gotta try to answer the riddle of the gold, because I guess that's one of the key reasons why they messed up on the first run. But hey, you know, I'll be able to think about it a little when I go get some dinner, because I am fucking dying. I have a nice fillet of salmon sitting in the fridge that I'm gonna season up and get ready to go. So yeah, I'll see you guys all next time. Catch you later. Bye.